We've spent over 100 hours exploring The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, and considering how much we've learned in our travels, we thought it would only be prudent to provide some tips for those just starting out in this vast world and its branching stories. We hope the following bits of advice will help you get the most out of your many adventures to come. Do take care of your companions. Throughout his journey, Geralt spends time with a number of central characters, from old pals like the bard Dandelion to newcomers such as the Baron ruling Velen and a bold Skelligan woman vying for the crown. Often, these important figures will ask Geralt for help with their own plans and troubles. Even if you don't do every side quest in the game, take time to follow up on these. It pays to have strong friends.
Where are the others?
Don't stick to the main roads. While there are clear paths to follow from one area to the next and dozens of quest markers, not everything can be found on the beaten path. Venture off into the wilds, and you just might make some new discoveries, whether they're side quests, vicious monsters, or a herd of wild horses to tame. Do be a return customer. Merchants in many RPGs maintain static inventories, and once you've exhausted their stock, you can forget about them and move on. However, in The Witcher 3, you can often return to find replenished supplies and fresh selections of weapons and armor. They each have their own specialties and varieties, so find your favorites and become a regular.
They tell stories about you every day around here.
Don't worry too much about your level. The quest log shows recommended levels for each mission and contract you accept, and monsters are likewise rated at certain levels, cluing you in to how tough they might be. But you don't have to worry about grinding to be the exact level for the job. Handle yourself well, and you can usually take on tasks several levels higher. Just keep an eye out for whether the text is red or green. Do buy a round of drinks. Sometimes the authorities can be jerks, and as a witcher with enhanced strength and reflexes, it can be tempting to put those jerks in their place. You'll have to make the judgment call in each situation, but sometimes it's better to show restraint. Swallow your pride, turn the other cheek, and buy those jerks a drink instead.
How about I buy everybody around?
Why would you?
Got the coin for it. Simple as that.
Don't lock on in group battles. Since the combat tutorial only focuses on one-on-one combat, it's easy to assume that locking onto your opponent is a vital step in every situation. However, while the function is great when fighting a solo griffin or bear, it can be a hindrance in groups. Enemies in The Witcher 3 don't stop to wait for you to finish their buddies off one by one. If you lock on when a large group is approaching, you'll find yourself struggling to switch between targets and in a poor stance to cover your rear. Free yourself from this tunnel vision, and you'll find Geralt is quite agile at shifting between attackers and blocking from all sides. Do harvest beehives. Money can be hard to come by in the early stages of the game, but the herbalist in White Orchard pays a nice sum for beehives. Other merchants aren't so generous, but if you harvest the honeycombs and bring them to Tomira, you'll fill your wallet with a decent amount of coin to purchase the things you need.
How's business?
Really? That's the best you got? That's like asking a fisherman if they're biting, or an old gran about her health.
The crown has become the only currency merchants will accept. If you're one to rummage through chests and houses, though, you'll often come across outdated stashes of orens and florins. Yet despite them being sorted into your junk collection, you shouldn't ignore them or toss them away, as later in the game, you'll come across a bank that's perfectly willing to exchange the currency.
You've come to the right place. A better rate you'll not find anywhere in the city.
Do play Gwent. The collectible card game you first learn about at the inn in White Orchard may seem like a simple diversion, but you shouldn't write it off. Even if you don't feel the urge to collect them all, you should at least spend a bit of time building your decks and understanding the strategy, because this card game does play a role in other quests from time to time.
You play Gwent?
They say Harry's dim, but that just ain't true. Harry don't know how to plough or sew, nor catch no fishes. But he sure can play cards.
Don't rush it. The Witcher 3 is an enormous game, and some of its strongest moments come in later chapters. But still, we wouldn't recommend anyone simply trying to beeline it through the main story, doing little else. There are numerous worthwhile tales to find where you don't expect them, and it fosters a wonderful sense of discovery in exploring and experimenting in its world. Enjoy.
So what now? Powder my nose?